Yo, what is good, YouTube? It's your boys back again from Unapologetically Men. I am your host, Max, aka Maximilian, and I got my co-host with me tonight.
Lando's back in the building tonight.
Back back in the building, sir. We doing our show this time on a Tuesday because Monday was MLK Day, and we was taking our holiday vacation like we usually do. So we usually come back to you on the next Monday, but we figure we go ahead and give you a little nugget for this week coming in. And how about you, sir? How about you, Mr. Lando? How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing just fine, man. Just doing just fine. Just doing my best to try to enjoy some quality entertainment without too much SJW content hitting me in the face.
Oh man, I know what you mean.
Oh my goodness.
I know what you mean. I
It's
know
so
what you mean.
hard to watch TV when all this stuff is just coming at you, forcing you to like look at unrealistic scenarios just injected into the storyline.
All the time, and they feeding it to you like it's a drug or something.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so tonight, my our loyal listeners, we have this cast entitled "We See You," because we want to describe what it's like for us MGTOW men, for us red pill men, whatever you want to call it, that the men that are kind of part of the manosphere, to have conversations with a female companion or female friend, whatever you want to call it, and just how they are when we interact with them and drop red pill nuggets on them. And Mr. Lando, how do you feel like when you speaking with a female, or just how and you dropping red pills on her as you notice? Have you noticed anything that goes on when you having a conversation with a woman?
Oh, absolutely. Now, just to preface this, we're not intentionally like, walking up to chicks and be like, "Hey, I'm MGTOW, and you got to just deal with my shit."
Right.
We're not doing that, and we're not alluding to the fact that we just have a different mindset. It just kind of comes off naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, just the way I conduct myself,
Mm-hmm.
I find that women they love their appearance, but they hate their reflection.
Right.
Now, I hope y'all can pick up what I'm talking about because it's like usually when I talk to women, I'm just being myself, and I'm all about truth, empirical truth, and just facts and logic. So if a woman says something
Mm-hmm.
or behaves a certain way, then I kind of call it out,
Right.
and then that kind of like cracks her mask, and she gets exposed for what she is, and now she's forced to look at her reflection, not just
Right.
appearance, like a selfie. You know what I mean?
Right. 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 And it's like it's like we were discussing earlier. Me and Mr. Lando was having a conversation, and we was just talking about how anytime you drop some red pill truth on a chick, it's like she's looking at herself in the mirror, and she can't deal with it. Like
Mhm.
I find that they have a hard time, or they feel real frustrated. When you start dropping these bombs on them, and then they don't know what to do with themselves. They start to crumble, and they start pulling out that whole, Nawalt talk,
Yep.
yeah, or speak about how they don't do that,
I
or
mean, what I found is they get this look in their face like they're a deer caught in headlights
oh
when they
yeah,
start making sense, and they
oh
get
yeah,
quiet. They avert their eyes and they kind of look down because now you just disarmed them, and they know that they can no longer bullshit you on any level, and that
absolutely, absolutely,
frustrates them. It
yeah,
really frustrates them.
absolutely. And I want to say shout out to Misanthropic Zombie. He's back again. Welcome to the channel again, sir. Nice to have you here with us. He
Absolutely.
dropped a. Let's see what we got. Dropping red pills is a high risk game toward modern women. It's easy to turn red pills into a kind of game. It's also easy to lose that game big time. What do you think about that, Mr. Lando? That's what the Misanthropic had to say about
I
our
can
content
agree with
tonight.
that statement. I
Hmm.
mean, because I've hung with fellas in the past when we go out and talk to women, and I've had sorry about the noise there. I've had people tell me that I'm talking myself out of pussy.
Hmm.
And the way I see it is, if they can't deal with truth, then I don't need to be bothered with them, because they can sure put up with a lot of BS from fuckboys. You know what I mean?
That's true. Right, right.
So it's like, I find that to be far more annoying to deal with someone that is self destructive in terms of, us guys.
Hmm.
Those of us that ain't on self development and just being the best versions of ourselves. If women want to waste their time with those guys and will put up with that shit, then they can handle a little bit of unfiltered truth with no chaser. You know what I'm
What
saying?
that makes me think about how what does it say about women when they would rather engage in a fuckboy tactic, which is basically to lie to them to get the pussy,
Yeah.
than to sit and listen to the truth. Like that, like it. What's this? What do you think that says about women when they would rather do that than to sit and listen to the truth?
That just tells me they're addicted to drama.
Mm,
They're addicted to negative things. They
hmm.
gravitate towards the same things that they claim that they don't want. You
Hmm.
know.
It's
And
kind of like the whole beautiful lie versus the ugly truth.
yep.
They love to be they love to have the beautiful lie, and that's just give me the truth, man. I want the truth. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that's how I would see that most men are. You know what I'm saying? We're truth seekers.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we appreciate truth. I mean, truth, honesty,
Mm.
nobility, things like that. Those are things that we value. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
I mean, because case in point, just to back that up, do you generally enjoy conversations with other men on your same level or women?
Mm. I would say I
I
have
mean,
more insightful and more enlightenment when I speak with my bros.
right. Exactly. I mean, because I'm not saying women are not capable of that,
Right.
but I am saying the vast majority of women are not equipped that way, because usually when a woman gets her wisdom, it rubs off on her from another man, be it her father or an uncle, or somebody that's like a higher level. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Right.
And then when she brings that to the table, it's like a big refresher.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? It's like, who is this unicorn? But
Hmm.
generally, for most women in just regular public, you know what I mean, regular society, a woman doesn't have anything much to talk about except herself. And to try
They
and she creates a false personality by lying or embellishing all the time. And we pick up on that stuff being
yeah.
real.
Yeah, and I get tired of hearing about the bullshit that they talk about half the time too, man. It's always like some reality TV show or some shit like that. And I got an example of, I was speaking with one of my female friends, and quite, I'm trying to get the bitch out of the friend zone, just to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? So anyhow, I was speaking to her, and she made this comment about men and women and how we just don't get on the same page a lot of times, and I told her, I said, well, yeah, it's because men love women differently than women love men. And she was like, yeah, that's
Right.
true. And then she's like, I feel like, she said, she's like, I think she started talking about sex or some shit, and then she was like, she felt that when women have sex with men and whatnot, they just like, men just has this ability to be able to detach from it, and women are just more emotionally invested. And I was just like, nah, that's really not the case. I was like, it's more the case of men, love harder and love stronger and love women stronger than they do for us. And she was like, how so? And I said, well, when you factor in divorce courts, court cases of child custody, men are often the uh, main people who are committing suicides behind that stuff.
Well, I'll take it a little step further than that.
Mhm. Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't finish there. I told her,
Yeah.
I said, when you factor in wars and how men die all the time for women, it's like women ain't dying for dick. Come on now. And she was like, oh
It's a
yeah.
little
She
simpler than
she
that.
she put her hands in her head, in her head and was like, Yeah, you're right. You're right. I was like, of course I'm fucking right.
I mean, it's a little simpler than that. I mean, you if you take it from an initial standpoint,
Hmm.
um, usually anybody that invests effort and time into something is gonna treat it like something of value.
Right, right,
Now,
right.
with that being said, women don't invest in obtaining relationships,
Hmm.
maintaining relationships, or even keeping relationships.
Hmm.
They don't invest energy into even obtaining sex.
Hmm.
Men do all that stuff.
Right,
So
right,
that is the primary reason why men love deeper and love harder because it's like we have to pour ourselves into what we're pursuing.
right. And
Women
it
don't do that.
and as a MGTOW man, it's kind of like it's just detrimental to your health to do that for a woman anymore. It's just
Right.
you should do that solely for gains that benefit you, and doing it to a woman is just that's playing at the crap table at the casino.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The house always wins.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
I
exactly.
mean, I was watching this television show and there was this guy talking to his ex-wife, talking about wanting to get back together.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and it's like the whole time he's trying to explain his reasoning or why he's even coming out like that. She's just shitting all over him.
Go figure.
And then he finally drops the L word on her, and it was like, "I want to get back with you because I love you." And I'm thinking to myself, "Oh shit, you don't ever tell a woman that."
Hell no. Definitely don't tell her first.
Even if you do, don't say it because I see it all the time. The moment the man mentions his vulnerability and opens that up to a woman,
Mm,
that's the same as saying, "Shoot me in the back of the head."
mm-hmm.
Or stab me through the back and make it go through my heart. Seriously,
Or you just handed her a loaded gun that she can use on you
pretty
later.
much.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
setting himself up for injury.
right,
And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. She held his hand and she was saying, "I understand how you feel, blah, 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 blah." And then she goes, "But," and I was like, "Oh shit, here he comes." And then she shot him down with some excuse of why she don't feel the same way after she spent like half the episode just disrespecting him. And I'm like, you know what? This is really close to reality because a lot of guys go through this. You know what I mean? They get to the
right,
point where, oh, she wants me to open up and express myself and share what's going on in my life. And the moment they do, that's when they get shit on.
right. And knowing these dynamics, these intergender dynamics between men and women, like it just arms us with the knowledge. So whenever we interacting with women,
Mm-hmm.
you can see that shit coming from a mile away. You can almost predict what their next word is gonna be almost. It's like you fucking got sixth sense. Like you're on the fucking like you're on the show, what's that movie? The Sixth Sense where he said, I see dead people. I
Yeah.
see I see bitches talking.
Yep.
You know
And
what
you
I'm
know
saying?
what? It's I mean, just to kind of get back to the topic of the title of what we're coming on tonight for We See You. We just got to always remind ourselves it's like we got to look at women the same way they look at themselves. They
Mm-hmm.
don't like what they see
Mm-mm.
when it comes to actually seeing a reflection. I mean, they'll take selfies all the time,
Mm-hmm.
mainly because generally they're very vain and they love their appearance,
Right.
but they hate the reflection when it comes to what kind of person they are inside.
Absolutely.
They don't like feeling
I don't
ashamed about when they do something wrong.
I don't even know if they even like their own appearance half the time. I mean, it takes a strong ass woman to even just like her appearance without wanting to cover it up with five different types of fucking products.
Yeah, you got a point there.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, God dang, do how much makeup you got on? Jeez.
Yeah. Hey, Misanthropic Zombie says something. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Part of the stoic masculinity is knowing when and how to deliver tenderness. That is absolutely
Oh
correct.
yeah. I definitely agree with that too. And it's that reminds me of a video that we uh was talking about earlier, where the chick drove her fucking car right into basically a sinkhole full of water,
Oh,
and then had these men that didn't look like your soy boys. They look like masculine men. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, they look like
Came in,
they
they
just
jumped into the fucking water. The water was waist high. The car's floating,
mm-hmm,
and they pushed her car out of the damn water and back, all the way back up. Like she drove face first into it. You seen the video?
mm-hmm.
She
She
drove
thought she was gonna get all the way through that shit too.
right.
It wasn't like she was trying to slow down.
I don't know if she was trying to just skip across the water or what, but her ass ended up looking like a damn what do you call it, lure floating in the damn water with her car, and then the men, like three men, pushed her ass out of it, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
just like, and I had to capture that. And it's like, oh, look at all that toxic masculinity. You know what I'm saying? It's just we know, the traditional masculine men uh know the difference between being a toxic asshole and being one of honor. But today's society right now is just trying to shove that shit down our throats like everything is toxic.
Oh, technical, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Misanthropic Zombie said it's an art. Well, is it art? A science? We all selling wolf tickets. Hold on, I'm having some technical.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah, I was just having some technical difficulties, and I couldn't process that. Can you read what Misanthropic Zombie was talking about?
Yeah, okay, I got you. It is an art, a science. We all selling wolf tickets when we to figure it out. Turning out women is easier than maintaining a loving relationship. Facts.
Oh, yeah.
It
So
could it
you
could be. I would say I don't know. It's almost just as difficult. If I'm thinking what you're saying, I would say it's almost just as difficult as fucking around with women as it is as maintaining one relationship with one woman.
yeah,
You
I
still
can
have to put in
I can
work
see what he's
either
saying.
way.
I mean, it sounds like what he's saying is it's easier to just
Mm,
play the games
mm,
and just fuck around with women than it is to actually hold on to one woman and have that be smooth all the way through.
mm.
And I would say yes and no, because the thing is, it's like if you want to maintain fucking around with women, to run that game, you have to be well, more or less, you have to discard the best aspects of your personality,
This is
or,
true.
or the most
This
virtuous
is true.
aspects, I'd say.
This
You know
is
what I
true.
mean?
Yeah,
So,
because
I mean, if you regard yourself as an honorable man or truthful, you know, that can be hard on some people. Some guys don't have a problem with just lying and creating new lies on the fly and manipulating and all that stuff to keep the game going. Some
right,
guys, they don't have a problem, but there are guys that they look in the mirror and they don't like what they're becoming,
right,
and they kind of spiral out of control. Like, what the hell am I doing? This isn't me.
right, right.
And
This
it's
is
an
true.
internal conflict.
Right.
See, guys will have that internal conflict, but women don't. They go
Mhm.
off of just straight up emotion, and they go when
Well,
they
yeah, it's
say,
because
"Oh,
it's because they are in the moment.
yeah,
They're not for the most part, do not future think. It's more of a they future think when it comes to
monkey brain."
careers. When it comes to right, monkey branching. When it comes to monkey branching careers, career development, shit like that. But when it comes to being in a relationship, that it's all about the moment. And so let's see what we got here. He said, Misanthropic said, what I'm actually saying is that it's easier to turn a woman into a hoe than to rely on a woman you got sprung to be for to be down shorty for life.
Oh
I
yeah,
got you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's
That
true.
is true. Yeah,
I've
you
seen many good girls turning to hoes
right,
overnight.
right. Well, I mean, can you contribute that to the honeymoon phase of a relationship?
They were turning to hoes,
You know what I'm saying?
and then,
I said,
huh?
can you contribute that? Could you contribute that to the honeymoon phase of a relationship? Like, if you guys don't know what a honeymoon phase is the first 3 to 6 months where you're just like everything is just natural. The shit just flows, and there is
I think
no
it happens
questions
within that
about what's
time.
going on.
I think it happens within that time. I
Yeah.
mean, just from what I've seen from how like a lot of fuckboys act
Hmm.
or operate with chicks,
Hmm.
and I've heard the game. It's like you get a girl, you isolate her, make sure she ain't got no friends. Now, this is the words of a fuckboy, okay? Get in good with the parents,
Hmm.
isolate the chick, and slowly and subtly just chip away at her self-esteem,
Right.
you know,
That
and
now
then,
that
and then just turn her out. Next thing you know, it's like what she could have been
hmm
does not even exist anymore. And now she becomes one of the hoes in your stable, and you just rinse and repeat with other chicks.
Yeah.
What this guy did.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, ain't no way I would get into that kind of a mindset because that's too close to just wrong. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. You have to you'd have to exercise a level. Yeah. You have to exercise a level of narcissistic behavior in order to
Oh
achieve that.
yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that I mean, I heard him talking about that. I'm like, damn, what's your nickname? Dr. Evil? It's like, golly. And he has extorted thousands of dollars out of chicks. I
Yeah.
just watched him do it. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Had them getting cars for him and everything.
Right. Right. So what?
I
And
was like,
so just to recap, for our listeners, this title is "We See You," and it was, we're just basically shooting shit about being MGTOW and actually still interacting with women, um, and having if you engage, in social media or actually in person, and you're having a conversation with them, and you drop red pills on them. It's not something like it's like Mr. Lando was saying earlier. It's not something that we seek to do. It's just because now, uh, you taken that blue pill programming and you have rejected that blue pill program, and now you've replaced it with MGTOW and red pill philosophy. So it's kind of like it comes out now. It's like you are allergic to bullshit, and
mhm.
you see the bullshit and you will speak on it. You're not afraid to speak on it. If you and that's one thing we should not ever be afraid of
Yeah.
or
Oh
have a
yeah.
problem with is being able to speak on. Now we don't go around saying, "Oh,
When
I'm
I was
MGTOW."
stupid,
We don't tell them, "Hey, we're MGTOW." I'm red pill. No, we don't say that shit. We just speak on the truth until they either clicks or they get frustrated, pretty much.
yeah. See, when I was blue pill,
Hmm.
or maybe I think I was more purple pilled because it wasn't like I was blind to the shit that women were doing. It's just that I was worried about if I actually said anything about it, I was worried about not getting laid. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Like I will spot some shit and be like, oh man, if I call her out on that, she's gonna feel some type of way, and then I probably won't get a chance to fuck.
Hmm.
Now I don't care whether I fuck or not because I have so much more interesting things to do with my life than chase after a chick that just is completely unstable. You know what I mean?
Right. Let's see.
So,
Misanthropic contributor said, "I tried this. I dropped red pills on multiple women. Some wanted me more. Some were repulsed.
yep.
If I got an ongoing woman friend, it was a success. And not only does she treat me different, she treats, I guess her own life differently.
Oh
That is
wow.
true. You can't change a bitch's life.
Yep.
You can't change a bitch's life by just talking to them. They will see what the hard truth is. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And
seriously. Yeah.
yeah.
There's two types of women, and there's some MGTOWs that kind of resent women for agreeing with MGTOW,
Hmm.
which is odd. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
if you
Right.
get a woman that agrees with you, and you can't always assume that, oh, well, she's just trying to ride the wagon for attention or whatever. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. And
But yeah, I mean, there's times that I have dropped red pills on women, and especially women that were raised by their fathers without no mother.
right.
I've come across those.
And here's
And
the go ahead.
and it's interesting how much they are on board. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's like, I mean, they still will defend like the female paradigm if you press too hard with the red pill.
Right.
They will get to that point, but generally, it's like they get it. They kind of understand.
And here's my thing too is when you're speaking to them, you
Mhm.
if you drop a red pill, you're gonna see the life cycle. This is the life cycle. You drop red pills on them as you're speaking to them as a natural course of conversation.
Mhm.
Then her defense turns to shaming language. She turns to shaming
Oh.
language to then combat what you're saying. She doesn't turn to facts. She doesn't turn to any kind of statistical data. She doesn't turn to any of that shit. She turns to shaming language to combat what you're saying. Now, if you weather this storm of
Mhm.
bullshit that she's coming at you and you stay grounded and you stay in your masculine when you deliver these red pill bombs, she's gonna end up either wanting to fuck you or leave you alone. It's one of the two. Like she's gonna try to fuck
Yeah.
you. She's gonna
She'll
try to
get
fuck you
frustrated.
straight. She's gonna try to fuck you back to the plantation, and that's what happens. That's what I've ran into sometimes too.
Oh, I've been there. I've dealt with a chick one time that wanted to prove so bad that she was different than other chicks
Mm.
that I got to fuck her multiple times and got a free lunch. She wanted to pay to be like, see, I'm paying for everything. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
right.
Yeah, she
That's
wanted to prove so bad that she was
mm,
the unicorn.
right. And then, but like you said, they live in the moment though, and when that moment passes,
Hmm.
we're looking for consistency,
Right, right.
and
And,
they
and
they
and that
typically
thing,
won't
it
have
didn't
that.
last long with her
Yeah.
because even though that I got to fuck her on multiple occasions because she was trying to prove how different she was,
Hmm.
in the end, she was still frustrated, even though I didn't go back to repeating or having conversations like that to her. It still
Hmm.
bothered her, and she was petty about it. And then she just ended up,
Well,
we parted ways.
bitches can't let shit go.
Oh no, oh no. I mean,
Mr. Darby said he's sorry to he said he's sorry to that it's hard to read his text, but it's cool, man. I understand what you're saying. We're
oh yeah,
good.
yeah. We totally get. We appreciate you coming on when we sign on
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
real.
Shit, man. I come from a a low income area and shit. So most of the people I spoke with, speak the same way or even type the same way that we see online. You don't expect like full proper grammar online and shit, so it doesn't even matter, man. I'm considered middle class now, but you know, I get what you're saying, bro.
Yeah, Misanthropic was like, oh shit. Just mention that gigolo stuff.
Right, right. Uh, Shit, but yeah, man. But yeah, so I don't know. You got anything else to add on this, Mr. Lando? Or did I lose you?
Huh?
Can
Yeah,
okay?
I'm
Can
having.
you?
Yeah, I can hear you. I
Okay,
am having some little bit of technical difficulties. I don't
I
know what
got
it
you.
is.
It's a Tuesday. We ain't on a Monday like we usually are. That's
Yeah,
the
that's
problem.
probably what it is.
Oh shit. But yeah, man. All right. Well, in that case, we're gonna go ahead and then wrap this shindig up. Want to say shout out to Misanthropy Zombie again for joining us.
You saying we ain't done? Hey, hey, you got something to add, Misanthropic man? Come
Right.
on, jump in,
Right. Right.
jump in. Hey,
uh,
where you hailing from? Where you from, Misanthropic?
see what we got. LET.
Mm,
Oh, I'm
Ellie.
in. I am in Tennessee. And Mr.
Back to
Lando,
the
where you?
Tennessee.
You in Michigan? Is that right, Mr. Lando?
Yeah, I'm all the way in Michigan.
Yeah, ain't that something, man?
Oh, okay. He's in
Arizona.
Arizona.
Nice, nice, nice. You know,
Okay.
yeah. So,
I know he's has some great weather down there. I'm dealing
yeah,
with all kinds of ice right now.
yeah. It's always cool too the to see when I'm looking at the analytics of our channel and watching where the demographics most of our listeners are coming from.
Uh-huh.
It's so cool just to fucking see across the globe. You can find shit from guys from Australia. Guys as you can see, Miss Drops from Arizona, and then you and I are in two totally different geographic regions. So, it's just you can see that MGTOW is a global type thing, not just some local fanboys or whatever, fuck boys or whatever these social media degenerates want to label everybody as. So, I just want to speak on that for a minute and just admire and just appreciate uh, our listeners that come from different walks of life and different areas around our country and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the MGTOW is a global epidemic at this point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it's amazing to see because if society ever crashes, who's going to be the survivors.
Right, right. And I think we spoke on that before. Those the soul boys, they're gonna be fucking shit out of luck.
Yeah, all the soy boys. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah,
Shit.
it'll be interesting to watch. I wouldn't be surprised if the soy boys would be like climbing over each other for protection.
Man, they're gonna be like, well, they will have one benefit. When they when if a shit like that happens, they will have an abundance of clothes because they can fit their girlfriend's clothes.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, and Mr. Topic, I want to ask you again. You want to add something to this conversation? Just a topic, because right now we in like free time mode at this
Yeah,
point.
we're in the closing minutes if you want to add anything into it, but uh what do we do? He says, what do we do once we gain some self-knowledge and dignity?
Oh, continue to sharpen it, and then
Absolutely.
use what you learn to sharpen your fellow man.
Hmm.
Iron sharpens iron. That's just a straight up fact. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right. Like, it's like you take a well crafted samurai sword, and the way you sharpen it is against stone.
Right.
And that sword is cutting through fucking just about everything you can think of. So and the samurai has a code, and that code is shared amongst all the samurais, and so that's kind of what we do. Anytime we are engaging with one of our fellow comrades, uh, you know, and we see something that is kind of like a red flag for us, um, and he doesn't see it because either A, he's involved in some kind of deep relationship or some shit, and he's got the love goggles on. We kind of there to sharpen his samurai sword as the stone,
Right.
and be the stone in your fellow man's toolbox, because he's not gonna see shit if he's dealing with women all the time. He's not
Hmm.
gonna see shit that you can see.
And you know what? Just to touch on that, this whole brotherhood thing is, I think it's important in this day and age that men get more comfortable with looking out for each other,
Hmm.
because you see it all too often where women will defend each other on bullshit.
Hmm.
So it would be good for us men to bond together when it comes to truth and justice and all those things that we kind of are the pillars for.
Hmm. And that kind
Because
of
if we don't do it, no one else will.
that kind of sparked an interesting thing I've noticed too when it comes to women and shaming language. When we speak on the brotherhood and just having our fellow man's back, you know what I'm saying? Just
Mhm.
as a code, just as an honorable thing to do. Women will use that and turn it into a sexual thing.
Yep.
Like they use the shaming tactic to make you to demasculate, or what is it? Emasculate?
Yeah.
Is that the
Yeah.
term I'm looking for? Yeah,
Yeah. Oh.
emasculate you
Mhm.
by saying that you're gay or some shit. And I'm just like, does that, like, when I take that logic and I turn it around and say, well, does that mean that you're often licking each other's clits in the bathroom when y'all go together? Like, I say that
Yeah.
shit
Like,
just out of
like,
nowhere. It's like, okay, Women go to the bathroom all the time together. Are y'all just in there like fucking licking each other's clits while you in there?
Now, women do gay shit all the time, but we don't talk. We don't focus on it. Like,
No.
what? Check this out. I'm pretty sure you heard this before. When women say they're getting together with their girlfriends to have a Tupperware party,
Mm-hmm.
what they're really talking about is they're getting together so they can play with and discuss sex toys.
Yup.
Now, if those
All the
women,
time.
and a lot of them are heterosexual women,
Yup.
but in the context of what they're talking about, they're doing some gay ass shit.
Right.
But it's like we as men don't find the energy to focus on it all like that. But
Right.
let a bunch of men get together and want to talk about how far each of them can like come and hit the wall. Everybody's gonna find something wrong with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's you're gonna get some gay points added to you
So, I
for
mean, with
just
that
shit like
being said, when men are talking about just having each other's back, you know what I mean, just
that. Hmm.
defending each other in a masculine and honorable way, within any context, I don't see how that's considered as gay. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. And it's not. It's just women will use that to break the bond. They want to break the bond because it's what is that
They don't want
isolation.
to
They want to isolate you. They want to isolate you. They want to divide and conquer.
word in their head called patriarchy. So,
Yeah, they want to divide and conquer. So
mhm,
in order for to do that, well, you have to attack a man's character. You have to attack a man's masculine attributes,
mhm.
and you have
You gotta
to make
question
him
his
feel.
masculinity.
Say that
You
again.
you gotta make his masculinity questionable. You
Right.
know, like say if you got a group of women ganging up on one man on the street for whatever reason. Say the
Hmm.
man approached a woman, and all the girlfriends decide, well, ain't nobody talking because this girl's not out, so you need to do whatever. And they start to get aggressive with that man.
Hmm.
Say if another man that don't know the man from a can of paint sees this and was like, hey, this isn't right. He's about to get insulted. I'm gonna step in and help this guy. Next
Hmm.
thing you know, those girls will be like, oh, y'all must be lovers because you coming to his rescue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
That
so
doesn't make any sense.
disingenuous. It's so
Mhm,
disingenuous because they don't have a problem being like fucking thick as thieves, so they don't have a problem doing that shit at all. But we don't have to
mhm.
divide them like that though. You know what I'm saying?
No, we don't. We don't see any purpose or value in doing that. Now,
No.
misanthropic zombie said, honor, integrity, brotherhood, all sorts of values are challenged so much that we can lose focus. And
Right.
that's true because there are some guys that will try to stand up and do the right thing, but as soon as they come under fire under these shaming tactics, now they start to think about their own image.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not
Right.
so much in the eyes of other men, but their own image in regards to women or female onlookers. Like, oh man, I'm helping this guy out. It might hurt my chances of getting laid. Maybe I should just leave this guy to the wolves. And it
Right.
happens. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. And that's kind of like and that's why my number one rule in life, which I spouted this rule so many damn times. But I mean, there are multiple rules. I don't know if I don't know if
Hmm.
you've heard of I know you have, but if anybody's listening, if you have read the Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi, he has 9 rules in it. But like I kind of have come up with my own set of rules for my life. And my number one rule, which probably is in his rules, I don't know them off the top of my head right now, but uh, my number one rule is never let a bitch tell you how to be a man. And that bitch can be man, woman, or society. It used to be just women.
Hmm.
Now I've expanded that shit to include men and your cuck boy, your cucks, your soy boys. They gonna do the same shit because they got bitch brain like women do. They
Yeah.
gonna they
So
gonna do that
what you're
shit, and
saying
then
is
you got society, right? Right. Let me finish. You got society that's trying to shove this shit down our throat all the time. The most recent was Gillette commercial. I don't want to
Mhm.
get into the whole Gillette commercials. Everybody covering that shit. So if y'all want to go check out what's going on with Gillette, just search every other YouTube. guys out there. They're talking about the Gillette shit all the time. But that's the most recent. And so I've expanded that, due to the commercials like Gillette. I've expanded that to include women, men, and society, to let them tell you how to be a man. Like, you define that shit for yourself. You know,
Right.
if
I mean,
if you a man that can cook, and you got a bitch that tries to shame you for being able to cook, and it's saying it's a feminine quality or whatever, motherfucker, the greatest chefs are men. So don't even. If you a painter, and you paint stuff,
oh,
the greatest artists are
hold on.
men.
I gotta interrupt. Something just came
Yeah,
to my attention.
yeah. Go ahead.
Google Hangouts is going to be offline as of March. Hold on, is this right? Hold on, let me make sure.
Oh shit! Is this another tactic to try and take
No,
down MGTOW content?
no, hold on.
Say it ain't so.
Hang on. Okay, late 2020, Google Hangouts might be permanently down.
Are they giving a reason why? I think we lost you.
Google
There we
Newsfeed.
go. Okay, you kind of cut
Yeah,
out
it
for a
just
second there.
popped up on my Google Newsfeed.
Okay, got
So
you.
I don't know. I need to read the article and find out
Yeah,
more.
we'll do some research on that, and
Yeah,
and definitely, if that's something that we need to touch on, we definitely gonna make a cast on that. Let me swing back over to Misanthropic. Said they twisted politics with relationships. What do you think about that, Mr. Lando?
I can see that happening. I mean, because
Hmm.
the media is basically trying to be the example of what relationships should be, and
Hmm.
a lot of people are subliminally or knowingly following suit to those piss poor examples, which is nothing but entertainment. You know what I mean?
Right,
It's
right,
not reality.
right. And
And
go ahead.
and just to take a little further too, and I'm seeing the family dynamics
Hmm.
in these TV shows,
Hmm.
and they're so far out of reality. If you pay close attention, you'll find that each character in these TV shows are attractive.
Hmm.
Like the one TV show I was watching tonight, the mother could pass for the sister. You know what I mean? And it's like they're all setting these standards in relationships that are just so goofy. It just doesn't make any sense.
Right. And I think, like, in terms of relationships, social media plus the current political climate plus the current uh, social agenda from the SJWs,
Hmm.
it's almost like you can't be organic anymore.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, there's
I can see that.
nothing authentic. There's no authentic interaction anymore, because everybody is so fucking on eggshells. Mostly the men uh are on eggshells. You know what I'm saying? We can't fucking breathe right. And it's terrible. Like, that's just the way it's gonna be. So I don't see it getting any better anytime soon. The current justice system would have to have an overhaul. I'm sorry about that. An overhaul
Hmm.
of almost a crap load of policies. You know, and this is one thing I do admire about Trump being in office,
Mm.
is that he has that kind of that macho bravado that he projects with that. But at the same time, nothing has changed politically, or from the uh
Well, because
in,
he's not a
internal
politician.
system. Right, he's not a politician, but you would think that with the way he acts, you would think he would, push forth some shit like that. But it hasn't happened in that aspect. So
Oh yeah, I mean, because the thing is, it's like I've always looked at Trump as just a figurehead. You know what I
right,
mean?
right. And as
Because
most U.S.
I'm
presidents.
gonna put on my conspiracy theory hat real quick,
Yeah.
but I see it. I see it as like most of the politicians. um, as just representatives and just a distraction for the public.
Mm,
Because what's really controlling the country is special interest groups, um, the central banks for sure,
mhm,
and certain privatized companies that are not out in the forefront.
mm,
That's
mhm,
just how I see it. And then all this political stuff is just something to make people believe that there are people that are supposed to be caring how this country is ran.
mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right, right. I got you. I got you. Well, and with that said, we will have to wrap this one up. It has been another glorious night for us at Unapologetically, man. Shout out to all the listeners. Shout out to our contributor, Mr. Misanthropic Zombie, for contributing on the chat there. We want to thank you again for listening. We're going to come back to you once again next Monday. Hopefully, it's not a holiday next Monday, right?
As far as I know, it's not, but
Right, awesome. We don't do this. We don't do this shit for a living. So we take our time off and we do what we want to do. So we gonna try to get to you every Monday though, like we usually do, and around this time. So once again, your boys from unapologetically, man. Can't even say our own damn title, bro. And it's your boy Max, and I got my co-host with me.
this is Lando. We out. We're gonna have a big topic next time, so
Hell
we'll
yeah.
try to have something special.
All right, peace.
Peace.